In episode 2, we're going to see Emery Tate playing white against Woman Grandmaster Tia Lanchava. This is from 2015. By transposition, we get to a modern defense, which is e4, g6, but we basically have transposed after 1 d4. And at this point, we have our first lever. This is the main idea of the second chamber, is the master uses these pawn exchanges. A lever is simply when two pawns attack each other. He uses these pawn exchanges to open up key lines of attack. All right, so as the game progresses, we have our next lever move, h4. Now we're going for the h5, h takes g6 lever. This, of course, would open up the rook on the h file. So black plays h6 and slows it down. Now let's switch over just here to the red analysis mode. This is not what happened in the game, remember. If he goes h5, then black would be able to go g5 and keep things closed. And so that lever would be ineffective. a5, and of course now the master plays a3. And this is more than just a second chamber lesson. This is taking us back to the stone bridges. Now Tate has his rook along the third rank. You can see that it's going to be easy to get those pieces out of the way, and that rook might swing over to the king side. So black continues with knight c6. We pin the knight down with bishop a4. Of course, we want to pile up on that pin with knight e5, and she has to trade off her knight and get her king out of the center. So after h5, again, this is not a forced lever. We can go g5 and keep things closed. But here we have the most important moment of the game for white. We play the crushing f4 lever, which of course now we're going to open up this file nearly by force, and the black king is going to live on it. And then we're going to castle our white king and accomplish two things with once, with the rook coming over to the f file. But however, let's see what was a little bit more accurate from the master here instead. We should have used the lever immediately with f takes g5, h takes g5, and then queen f3, creating pressure down the f file and along diagonal. Then we castle, creating the battering ram down the f file. You can see that the queen is playing f7, the rook is backing it up. Bishop takes g5 comes in, and if black gets greedy with knight e5, we'll simply go bishop takes e7 check, king takes, queen f6 check, and we're going to pick up the knight and some material, and the hunt for the black king will continue. Now, let's go into the analysis within the analysis mode, and this is going to be color-coded green for everyone at home. Continue with red analysis. We played fg5, hg5, queen f3, rook h7, castles hitting down the f-file, rook to a6, bishop takes g5. How about a more logical move like bishop to b7? Well, then we would see the stone bridge of the third rank, the rook on a3, get into the game. Queen f6. And of course, this creates pressure on the weak dark squares. Maybe the king would run out of the way, but then we would simply get the knight out of the way with knight c5. You want to save your rook, and now rook g3 comes in, crushing the black king down the half-open file. Let's go back to the main game now, where Tate played castles instead of f takes g5. And of course, g4 here, we're going to try to keep things closed, maybe open up for the black rook, but it doesn't matter because we have yet another crushing lever. This time, the most devastating blow. The pawn from f4 goes to f5, not only prying open the f-file, but also the c1, h6 diagonal, which is going to lead to the black king, so bishop takes h6. Of course, this is check. We have one more lever after black gets out of check, and then the game is pretty much over. Pawn to e6, crushing through. And after e6, you can see we're opening another dark squared diagonal for the dark squared bishop. It also opens the e-file on the black king, so bishop f4, which of course is a skewer. We have to pick which piece we want to lose here, so we're going to move our queen out of the way. Bishop c6, knight c6, bishop takes b8, knight takes b8, rook takes a5, and the rest is quite simple for someone as strong as Emery Tate. All we have to do in this situation now is basically continue the attack on the king, maybe simplify, but it gets worse than that. He piles up knight e5. We've got the pin down the 7th rank. And of course, you can't move this knight out of the way because he's pinned. Knight takes d7 here, and the final tactic, knight b6, discovered check, picking up the black queen. And so after this, the game is pretty much over. Black did resign at that point if you wanted to see what could happen a few more moves. Up a queen, cover the queening square, threaten all sort of attacking ideas with queen h6, and the game would be over. Now, don't forget to pick up your copy today of The Final Attack, Volume 1. For more in-depth analysis, follow us on YouTube at Final Attack Tate and at _Final Attack on X.